Hey everybody, today I wanted to share with you just kind of a funny little play on words that I ran across. Total, just like stand by for nerd joke, all right? I know I do some cheesy nerd jokes, but gotta love that language stuff when, I mean, the Lord is just so funny. Like, you can't even make this stuff up sometimes. I run across things and, you know, when you have like two different languages and when you're saying a word in one language and you're saying it like it means something like the same sound of this, like the way you say the word means something totally different in the other language. It's like, and you can't help but laugh. Like, it's one of these. All right, so in Daniel 8:9, I was reading right in that section in Daniel 8 about the little horn. And I jumped into the Hebrew just to see, look behind the scenes in the Hebrew a little bit to see what I was, and so I started reading, but when I got to the word for horn here, now of course we have the shofar, that's one kind of horn, right? So that's shofar though. And so this one, when I read it, I about busted up laughing because of the little horn and what the little horn does. So before I tell you what that is, because it was kind of funny, and it'll be a little nerd joke, not like a big deal, but I thought it was so humorous, I had to share it. All right, so in Daniel 8:9-12, it says, "Out of one of them came forth a rather small horn, which grew exceedingly great toward the south, toward the east, and toward the beautiful land. It grew up to the host of heaven and caused some of the host and some of the stars to fall to the earth, and it trampled them down. It even magnified itself to be equal with the commander of the host, and it removed the regular sacrifice from him, and the place of his sanctuary was thrown down. And on account of transgression, the host will be given over to the horn along with the regular sacrifice, and it will fling truth to the ground and perform its will and prosper." And so what's kind of interesting about this, so I'm reading along and I'm like, wait a minute. So think of the things that it did, right? It caused some of the host to fall. It was, and it trampled them down. It magnified itself. It removed things. At the end, it says it will fling truth to the ground and perform its will and prosper. So performing its will and prospering really is kind of the key here. Well, you know, just that arrogant kind of negative connotation to this little horn, right? And so what's funny is I'm reading along in the Hebrew and I get to it, and how you pronounce the word horn here, because it's kuf resh nun, is Karen. I'm like, wait, what? Karen? Like, Karen, obviously in our modern culture, is, you know, that self-righteous, kind of bossy, sort of Jezebelic woman who comes in and just like takes over and takes charge. Now, that assertive personality could be steered for good, but in most cases, Karen is has a negative connotation these days as being that pushy, you know, all about themselves, completely self-absorbed, kind of narcissistic person, right? That comes in and just is going to push their way through. And so it's funny that this little horn was called, that was doing bad things, was called a Karen. So sometimes you just can't make this silly stuff up.